Alright, so another Nintendo Direct that got announced. It's going to be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, it is E3 season, even without actually E3 happening. But, we've had the Summer Game Fest, PlayStation Showcase, Capcom Showcase, Xbox Showcase. I'm pretty sure we had a Ubisoft Showcase, and now we're getting a Nintendo Showcase. It is basically E3 2023. And so far it's been okay. The PlayStation and Summer Game Fest shows were just okay. Capcom did a little better, and I didn't watch Ubisoft's, but I heard that they were decent. The Xbox Showcase was actually pretty solid for the most part, and I hear that the Starfield gameplay looks great. I didn't watch the Starfield Direct I didn't watch the Starfield showcase though. I didn't watch that, but I've heard it looks pretty good apart from some graphical issues and the game running at 30 FPS, which I've seen people defending. I've seen people going against it. I personally don't care, but point is, so far it's been rocky, and I'm hoping that Nintendo will do better, so to say. I, of course, being a YouTuber, I just have to share what I think is going to happen in the Direct. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to share what I want in the Direct, because that's just way more fun. Now, I have 3 categories, each with a few games in them, of where I think each game is going to lie in terms of being in the Direct. First is, written in order, I have the categories of realistic, unrealistic, and pipe dream. Realistic are things that may or may not happen, but they seem quite possible. Obviously, there's no reason behind it. I don't have any concrete reason other than I just feel like it would make sense. It would make money. Unrealistic are things that I'd personally like to see happen, and they don't seem completely out of the realm of possibility, but there's a much greater chance that it's not going to happen than a chance of it possibly happening. And if it does happen, that would be really cool. Then there's pipe dream. I only have 2 things in the pipe dream category. These are things that I know for a fact are just completely impossible in every single way, but I still wanted to say it because I just would be ecstatic to see these games on the Switch. First up, we're going to look at the realistic categories. Some things that I just feel, it will work. It would make sense to put this on Switch, or to finally put it on Switch, or to bring it back or something like that. Just things that make sense. First up is Mario and Donkey Kong. New Super Mario Bros. Was a big hit for the DS. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was pretty good, and then after that the series just kept going downward and downward in terms of quality and how much people cared. And I think it's been a good while since we've had a new 2D Mario game, so why not bring it back? Obviously don't do another new Super Mario Bros. Because we're tired of that, but just Super Mario Retro or something. I don't know a title, but give us a 2D Mario game. It'd be really fun to see. Or give us another 2D Donkey Kong game. Donkey Kong Country Returns is a really great game, and that's coming from someone who does not care for Donkey Kong games. I tried the original trilogy, wasn't a fan of it. Donkey Kong Country Returns, great game. I haven't played Tropical Freeze yet. I will eventually play it, but it does look so good. And it'd be really cool to see another 2D Donkey Kong game. I'd probably buy that in a heartbeat if it got announced. Next is Kid Icarus Uprising HD. I would love if they finally gave us Kid Icarus Uprising on a system that actually works for it. Not saying the 3DS doesn't work for Kid Icarus Uprising, but if you've played Kid Icarus Uprising, you know for a fact this game would work so much better on an actual console with 2 analog sticks. And the bad part about that is it's one of the best games on the 3DS. It's absolutely fantastic. It's, in fact, in some regards, I'd argue it is the best game on the 3DS. One of the best games Nintendo has ever made in their entire history. but it's just shackled to a system that it just barely functions on, and that hurts me so much.
The characters are wonderful, the graphics look really great for a system where I'm used to everything looking like this, and the game overall should be brilliant, so why did they do this with the controls? For those who haven't had the pleasure of being ripped off by this game, you have to use the stylus to move the camera around, while using the circle pad to move Pit around, and the R trigger to shoot. So you end up looking like this while playing it. Help.
I would love if they put Kid Icarus Uprising on the Switch. They don't have to do a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising. They don't even need to do that. They just need to put the original Kid Icarus Uprising game on Switch. I guarantee you, we would go absolutely insane over that announcement. Now, these next two announcements do make a lot of sense in terms of time and how Nintendo's been, feeling with their bigger franchises. Well, bigger adventure franchises. You'll see what I mean. First up, Mario. Again, we're going back to the plumber guy. Super Mario Odyssey. You remember that game? Came out in October 2017. That's been 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22. It's nearly 6 years. We haven't had a new 3D Mario game. Now, obviously, I'm not saying like, we gotta have a new 3D Mario every year. No, obviously that's not the case. But it's been 6 years. Galaxy 2 came out like 4 years after the first one, and Galaxy 1 came out 3 years after Sunshine. Like, come on, guys. Give us another 3D Mario game. Heck, even Super Mario 3D World, and then to jump to Odyssey, Galaxy 2 to 3D World, that was like 3 years, and then the jump from 3D World to Odyssey was 4 years. Still, it's been more than 5 years without a new 3D Mario game. Nintendo, come on, just give us a new 3D Mario game. A sequel to Odyssey or something completely new. We probably don't care. We just want a new world for Mario to run and jump around in, and maybe throw his hat, burn some Goombas and Koopas. That's all we want. Heck, you can even... Actually, no. Okay, so this is actually a bad idea, but you could even make something based on the movie. Probably the worst idea you could ever have, but we get a good laugh out of it at least. And in terms of making sense, in terms of like Nintendo's adventure franchises or action adventure franchises, Zelda and Fire Emblem, they got the Warriors treatment. We got Hyrule Warriors, which is, we got Fire Emblem Warriors, which looks like dog water. We got Age of Calamity, which was surprisingly great, and we got Three Hopes, which is pretty good, all things considered. Nintendo, you've been giving a lot of love on Switch to Xenoblade Chronicles. We got the first game remade. We got a remake of the first game. Xenoblade 2 was almost one of the Switch's launch titles. It came out in the first year of the Switch during the holiday of all times. Xenoblade 3 came out, that got a lot of love, and all three games got expansions with Future Connected, Torn of the Golden Country, and Future Redeemed, on top of Pyra and Mithra being added to Smash Brothers Ultimate in the second DLC pack. So obviously, you guys love Xenoblade. And even with that, Monolith Soft, the creators of Xenoblade, they've been giving a lot of love to Switch. Even without Xenoblade, Monolith Soft worked on Splatoon 2 and 3, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and they've been even buddy with you even before that with stuff like Animal Crossing New Leaf, Splatoon 1, and Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So obviously, Nintendo and Monolith Soft, y'all working together extremely well, and recently you guys have been doing really well working with Koei Tecmo, so why can't y'all give us Xenoblade Warriors? It's literally a match made in heaven right now, especially with the hero system of Xenoblade 3. I mean, look at all these characters you can just make heroes out of, make warriors out of. It's perfect. It's begging for you to make it, and you just refuse to for some reason. Give us Xenoblade Warriors already. And lastly, Vampire Survivors. This is a game that I heard about last year when it came out. I'd seen gameplay of it, but I didn't really think it was going to be all too compelling. Didn't really look all that interesting to me. I'm like, okay, cool, they got the retro aesthetic, but other than that, it probably won't be anything captivating to me. I finally got an Xbox about a month ago, no, not a month ago, like 2 months ago. I got it right before the Zelda OLED came out, and one of the games I downloaded into that was Vampire Survivors, and upon playing it, I am so sorry I ever doubted you. You're seeing the gameplay on the screen right now. It is, in terms of gameplay, it's probably the most simplistic game I ever played in terms of just controls, because literally all you have to do to play the game is move the left stick. That's all you have to do. But it is such a compelling and addicting gameplay loop. It is easy to sink so much time to the game, and this is a game that looks, just look at this. Tell me this isn't a perfect game for Nintendo Switch. Easy to pick up and play, quick sessions. Most players probably last about 10 to 15 minutes. That's literally the Switch's whole thing. Pick it up and go, play for 10, 15 minutes, half hour or so, call it a day for on the go, come home, dock it, whole shebang. And it's a pixelated game. It's a 2D pixel game. Literally perfect for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo fans, eat that for breakfast. Come on. Put Vampire Survivors on Nintendo Switch. Now we're going to skip ahead a little bit. I was going to do Unrealistic next, but I decided let's go over Pipe Dream games next, because there's only 2 here. Technically 8, but I'm going to say 2. You'll see what I mean. But these are games that are just so wildly out there in terms of what I would like to see on Switch that you're just going to look at me crazy the whole part of this video. First off, Transformers. I am a big Transformers fan. It's been with me ever since I was 7 years old. I love the franchise with all my heart. And 2 of the best games I've ever played are War for Cybertron and its sequel, Fall of Cybertron. Unfortunately, they're completely delisted from all modern systems. And I don't even think they're even being sold in stores anymore, which is truly a heartbreaking crime, honestly. I would pre-order in a heartbeat if Transformers Fall of Cybertron, if even one of them was ported to Switch, War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron, if either one of them were ported to Switch, I'd pre-order that immediately. But obviously what I really want is a double pack of both games. That would be the best game on Switch, hands down. Yes, I said it. Obviously I don't mean it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It would be the best game on Switch, hands down. And then the other is one of 2 trilogies, Call of Duty Black Ops or the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare trilogy. Don't ask me why I want these on Switch. I just like Call of Duty, so why the heck not? It's a stupid idea, I know, but I don't know, something about having Call of Duty on the Switch, one of the original, trilogy of the series, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, something about that I just like the idea of. I don't know. And lastly, let's look at the unrealistic games. Like I said before, these are games that, they see something just tells me, yeah, obviously this makes sense to put this on Switch. And honestly, none of these are original games. All of these are me wanting a port or a remaster or remake of something. But all of these would make sense to put on Nintendo Switch for one reason or another. Let's start with one of my favorite games of all time, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Why in God's name would you guys not put that in the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection? Like, that's the stupidest thing you've done since the Switch came out. That's one of the stupidest things you've ever done since the Switch came out, and it boggles my mind. So, Super Mario Galaxy 2 on Switch. I don't care if it's a simple port or an HD remaster. I just want the best Mario game on Nintendo Switch. Y'all have the second best Mario game on Nintendo Switch. Y'all have the prequel to the best Mario game on Switch. Why is the best Mario game not on Nintendo Switch? It doesn't make sense. And speaking of not making any sense, I recently started a job, and the first week ended, and it was the most painful week of work I've had in a long time. And after Friday came around, I decided I want to hop on my Nintendo Switch or my Xbox and play something calm, relaxing, and just ease my mind. So I went and bought Elden Ring. Yeah, so Elden Ring is a game that has thoroughly, just absolutely destroyed me. I've made it basically nowhere. I got to the first enemy, Tree Sentinel, first boss, first enemy. If we don't count that prologue fight that you're supposed to lose, that scripted fight. If we don't count that, Tree Sentinel is the very first enemy in the game, and it's a boss fight, and after the 30th death, I just kind of decided to make peace with it. I sneak past it. I'm not fighting that thing yet. I'm currently getting destroyed by flames in a hallway. It's a rough time. But, Elden Ring, put it on Switch. Why not? And the reason I put this in Unrealistic instead of Pipe Dream is because it's not the first time a high-end game has been running on Switch. Look at Doom Eternal or Doom 2016. That came to Switch pretty early. With The Witcher 3, it took way too long, but Overwatch. And even Overwatch 2 came to Switch, I believe, day and day with the other systems. But that's actually a really bad example because Blizzard is a pretty company, honestly, and that's putting it very lightly. But yeah, obviously the Switch, even with some limitations or having to cut some corners, it can run more high-end games. So put Elden Ring on Switch, sure, probably, maybe, why not? But if you can't do that, then could you put Dark Souls 2 and 3 on the Switch? That'd be nice, I'm sure. I hear 3 is the best one, just saying. Now, this one I'm probably going to catch some flack for, because the last time Nintendo did this, it was terrible. Except for one thing, Nintendo didn't do it, Rockstar did it, and they didn't do it to the Switch, they did it to every system. The GTA trilogy was one of the worst games released in recent years. One of the worst remasters ever made, probably. But if Rockstar takes their time and actually works on finishing a game, I'd like to see GTA 5 on the Switch. I mean, obviously it can work, and don't tell me it can't, because that's an Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 game. It runs on hardware weaker than Nintendo Switch. So don't tell me GTA 5 can't run on the Switch. And you're lying to me if you tell me you wouldn't want to take GTA 5 on the go. Now, these last two things I want on Switch both fall under my Xenoblade fanboyism. And we're going to start with the one that I kind of want less. I want remasters, ports, or remakes of the Xenosaga trilogy and or Xenogears. Now, I know it seems crazy that these are the ones I want less, but that is literally only for one reason, and that is because I don't like turn-based RPGs. I tried them, and I do like a few, okay? I like Pokemon Black, I like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Final Fantasy VII, the original, I did play good 20 hours of that. I had my fun, but for the most part, I just don't care for turn-based RPGs, the traditional turn-based RPGs, with a few exceptions, like I just mentioned, and of course, genres that kind of build off of it, like tactical RPGs with Fire Emblem and XCOM and stuff. But regular turn-based RPG is not my thing, so that is the only reason I don't want Xenosaga and Xenogears as much as I want the last thing that I'm going to mention. But obviously, I do want them. Being a Xenoblade fan, I want to see the rest of Takahashi's work in the best quality, and seeing that emulation is just not working for me right now, and I don't see a problem with remastering Xenogears and especially Xenosaga. I actually did find Xenosaga at a game store about an hour away from my house, but it was a sealed case, and I'm not rich, so I can't just go and spend $600 for a PlayStation 2 game that I may or may not play, especially when I don't even have a PlayStation 2 to begin with in the first place, which just makes it even stupider, And the last thing that I have is I want them to bring the rest of Operation Rainfall to Nintendo Switch. If you know what I'm talking about, awesome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's a quick rundown, I guess, as quick as I can. Nintendo back in like 2009, 2010 had 3 JRPGs exclusive to the Wii that they were making, action RPGs, which is my favorite RPG genre. And Xenoblade was one of those games, but they were going to make them Japan exclusive. The other 2 games were Pandora's Tower and The Last Story. And those 2 games, along with Xenoblade, were not going to come anywhere in the world. They weren't going to come to Europe, America, nowhere, just Japan. And a lot of fans were like, no, that's stupid. Release the games worldwide, you cowards. And they coined Operation Rainfall, a big movement to bring those 3 games over to the West. Europe got the games localized, and Nintendo eventually in like 2012 finally caved and said, fine, we'll release it in the West. This doesn't have to do with Operation Rainfall, but we decided we're going to release it in the West. I don't believe that. I'm on the side that says Operation Rainfall twisted Nintendo's arm hard enough that they finally released the games, and the games finally came over to the West. And obviously, Xenoblade grew into a cult classic and became one of the biggest Nintendo franchises on Switch. Arguably the biggest franchise on Switch next to Mario and Pokemon. But Pandora's Tower and The Last Story, they are still chained to the shackles of the Wii. And that just don't seem right. I've played, first few hours of The Last Story, and it's really good. It's really good. I want to get more into it. I just don't really touch my Wii very often. I usually play my other systems, so bring it to a system where people are actually going to play your game. And Pandora's Tower especially, I saw the trailer for that and I'm like, yo, this looks fantastic. I gotta play this. And even though I found it, I haven't gotten time to play it yet. I haven't made time to play it yet. I have all the original Operation Rainfall discs, actually. They're some of the rarest games I own, but it's just I want to play these games on something that I actually play on, So if I can have Xenoblade Chronicles, Pandora's Tower, and The Last Story all on Nintendo Switch, like that'll just be the coolest thing ever. That'll be the coolest part of my collection. I am going to flex that forever. But obviously, I want to hear from you guys. Can't speak. I want to hear from you guys. Is there anything you want to see in the Direct? Something you hope gets revealed? Let me know that in the comments. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.